Welcome to volume number 3 in the Combat Hapkido self-defense system. In this tape you will find the minimum requirement techniques for your 40-degree black belt. We return now to the category of defenses against punches. In this particular case, you're fairly close quarter with the person. You're very close. And he's going to try to hit you with a hook punch, coming on this side, this way. So since your hands are already prepared, like you should always be, your hands up, as soon as he strikes, you catch him right here. This is not a hard block. It's basically deflection and a hook. You're hooking his arm so he cannot either pull it back or move forward. It's caught now. What you do after this, you take the other hand, again assuming that it's not striking you here. If he's striking you, the other hand can take care of it. Or to assure that he's not going to strike you, as soon as you do that, you hit the face immediately. That will act as a distraction as well as stopping his attack. Then from here, you come back with the hand, this hand here, behind, make a fist here, behind his fist, like this, coming around. Remember, it's already hooked here. Pull him toward you, close. Don't stay out and try to do the technique this way. It's not going to work. 1, 2, and this is your takedown right here. You slam him right into the ground. Once you reach here, you already have your lock in place. You don't have to move or switch hands to do anything. Let's view it one more time. Remember, he's trying to hit your head here. Okay? So you're protecting here, striking, coming around here, turning out this way as you're hooking with this one into you. So from here, 1, bring it close to you, and now drop him to the ground. 1, here, and you have your lock in place. You've seen this type of lock before. There's different ways to apply, so this should not be new to you, just a different way to get into it. We'll pay attention to the detail one more time. 1, 2, coming here, go outside here like this. Bring him into you, tight, and this one does the work now. And you're going to drop him down to the ground. Okay, the next one, you do your deflection either with 2 hands or 1 hand. It doesn't matter, but you're going to wind up in this position. 1, and you've seen this before. We've used it for other techniques. You strike the body now. Okay, this is very important. Don't strike too high. Okay, number 1, it's not very effective. Second of all, you want him to bend over for you. Okay, so when it comes with the high punch here, bam, like this. Now take the hand while you're still holding here, reach behind his neck like this, and twist into you and flip him down. When he's down, you can finish. You can go into other techniques. Okay, one more time. He punches, you avoid the punch, you're in position for your strike now. Hold on to this hand, don't stay out there. Keep your elbow close to you. Strike, bring the hand up, behind his neck. Now don't just push down, okay? What you want to do is twist it this way. And you can wind up maybe this way. You have total control. The head detail one more time for you. Punches, 1, strike. This is the important part here. Reaching up here and twisting into you and taking him down. This is the key right here. Remember, his arm is locked against your body. You have an arm bar right here. Watch. Okay? So the 2 motions, pulling the arm across your body, and this here will do the job for you. This technique is very simple, very dynamic, and yet very devastating. Be careful practicing in class, because what it does involve is a forearm strike right into the trachea of the individual, at full power. This is best applied, this technique, in a type of dynamic punch, when it's not just sitting here punching with your boxer style, but it's coming in with a punch with a certain amount of motion toward you. We're going to do it very slowly so you can see all the elements here. I prepare myself. He comes with the punch. I remove the obstruction. I don't just deflect the punch this way like I normally would do because I got to go over his punch now. So I actually reroute the punch in a circular motion but downward. So from here, 1, that frees him up, and I come with a strike here into the trachea. Don't use your hand. Some styles, more traditional, recommend rigid hand strikes here. We like to use the forearm. First of all, there's no way to miss, and it's much harder hitting the bone here. And when you do that, make sure with your partner that you know exactly where to stop and how to control yourself, because striking the trachea is considered a lethal technique. So one more time, very simple again. He comes in, remove the obstructions, and hit. Some people may ask, what happens if he's got his hand high up here? Well, we have done a technique like that before, if you remember. If he comes up and his other hand is so high that by doing this you're hitting here, what you're going to do in this case, if his hand is high, hit him through the body, and you go back in the technique we've done before. So this one, if he applies this technique, if his hand is this way, or if it's not in the way of his face, because you're going to attack this area. So for whatever reason, the other hand is up here, is out back, is cocked a little bit back. It doesn't matter. 1, 2. This is your strike. Clothesline strike, like this. That's all there is to the technique. Very effective in an attack that is kind of dynamic, moving into you. The next technique has some of the elements you have seen in defenses against kicks. And you'll see why in a minute. As he throws his punch, I'm going to deflect it and bring it here. Same as I would do with a kick. In other words, I'm going to scoop it up and lock it into my own arm. See, already you got a nice wrist lock here, believe it or not, because I could just simply take him down this way if I wanted to. But we're going to make it a little more exciting. So as he throws, this one acts as a guide. You want to guide his punch without stopping it. You want to guide it and place it where you want it to be. So again, from here, 1. From this position, immediately strike the face, because he can come back with a cross immediately and hit you. So as soon as you guide his arm into your arm, boom, strike the face this way. That distracts him, plus he can't see what's going on now. From here, you go back to his fist over there, grab the back of the hand this way, lock yourself up, use your elbow to put pressure on his bicep, just spin around and take him down. And you end up like this. Of course, now you see only my back, but I'm going to turn around and do it the other way. So he throws the punch, 1, 2, the strike. Come back here, grab his hand. Lock yourself up, push down on the bicep, spin around. Follow, now you got both knees in position. Now I'm going to drop all the weight of my body in top of it. But of course I'm not going to do it here, but gently. One will be here and one on his floating ribs. Brace the elbow into your body, maintain the trap, and lock. Okay, just one more time, the mechanics of the fist here. That's all you need to see at this point. 1, watch. Lock it here. Keep the fist tight there for a second so they can see better. Strike. Come back over the top. Grab the back of the wrist. Lock yourself up for extra support here. Use the elbow to push down on his bicep. Then spin around and take him down. It's that simple. Here you already have the lock. So what you're doing, you're pushing his wrist into you, not out this way. There is no pain here. Got to push it into yourself, like this. And then this movement. And that's your whole technique right there. In the next technique, we're going to introduce a little bit of a different lock, but very interesting and very painful. That's why it's here in the advanced series. As he throws his punch, going to catch this way. Okay, if it's a round punch, it works. If it's a straight punch, it works. Okay, because you're going to move it into the inside this time, regardless of what type of punch it is. Although we prefer always to go to the outside, many times we have to be on the inside because of the position of our body, how the attack started. So he throws his punch. I strike. I secure the wrist here. There's a little bit of a hook here, securing close to my body. Over here, I strike with my elbow right on his bicep. And then, after I do that, I pass with my elbow past his arm, twist the hand, and lock it against your chest here. Come, scoop from under, and lock him this way. This is the lock that you have now. Now, at this point, it's not finished. You take your other hand, you place it on his ear, and you push a straight line that way. One more time. He throws the punch. Bam, bam. Come around, lock, lock. Now, there are times, for some reason, either you make a mistake, or for some reason you don't want to, lock him up and escort him. This could be a beautiful escort, by the way. Let's go back to this. I could escort him out of a building or take him somewhere, okay? Because you have total control. It's very painful. But maybe you don't want to do that or can't do that. Throws the punch, same beginning, same strike, same lock. But this time, instead of putting your hand this way and pushing, go in front of the face. I'm going to turn him around so you can see. Instead of pushing this way, you go in front of the face, put a finger under the nose, and jerk his head backward down to the floor. Turn around. So, as soon as he hits the ground this way, you place your leg here. And he's totally locked in a very painful way. And you got this pressure point still here under the nose. And it's very painful. So regardless if you choose the takedown or the escort, technique works the same. The important part is this detail. 1, 2, to soften up the arm, make it numb. Bam! Here, come around, twist this one this way into you, swing around. You have your lock. Don't stay out here. It's very difficult with your arm to snake in front of him if you're standing here. It's impossible. So as soon as you hit and you go over, step a little bit that way. Make it easy for you. This is the position you're going to wind up in. Then, as I said, you could grab the hair and jerk him back. You can push. You can reach in front for the nose. And that is your technique. Okay, in this technique, we're going to use a lot of circular energy. And in order to do that, we're going to move very fast on this one. What we're going to do here is place him in a very painful arm bar. Okay? When he throws the punch, come around this way. Lock. This can break the elbow, by the way, if you do it really hard with energy. Let's see from this side. So I want to show you the details of what we do here. As I deflect this punch, either with my cross hand or by using a little bit of a trapping method this way, doesn't matter, I come in a full circle. This is what his arm is going to do, basically. So you're not stopping the punch again, you're redirecting it, using his own energy. So from here, 1, place it up here. Now, not here where his hand is, or his wrist, because as you go there, it's going to slide right off. You got to step in deep and make sure that the arm, his arm, is high, turn around, is high on my back, not this way. You want it deep. So now the lock is going to work. Okay, so one more time. He comes with the punch, step to the side. If you lose it, like I just did, doesn't matter. You pick it up again. His punch is now ineffective. So from here, 1, bring it right up here. One hand is already in place to secure it. Now remove the other one, join them together for added pressure. When I do that, I'm coming toward me, down, but toward me, not straight down that way. So here, this is the movement. Of course, that will break the arm. Okay, one more time. Here, come here. This is your lock. Very painful. Now, when you bring him down, if you're a little gentle, he just goes down on his knees, maybe, like this. Then, of course, you have other alternatives if you want to finish with something else. You can kick. You can smash against the knee. Instead, if you do it more violently, you take him straight to the ground the first time. Here, 1, wham, down it goes. And here you have your arm bar. In this type of attack, two hands grab the shoulder, like before, but this time from the back, from behind. Again, there is many things that you can do. This technique here, what you're going to do, as soon as you perceive being grabbed, don't waste time trying to kick or doing anything else. Turn into him. Lower your center of gravity, turn into it. As you do that, catch the hand closest to you here, while the other one comes across here. As this one comes, reach over here and hit him in the back of the head as you're spinning around and taking to the ground. I know it doesn't look that good when we do it this slowly and we break it down step by step, but it's a really nice dynamic technique when you do it fast. We're going to do it a little bit dynamically this time. Not too much again. We don't want to get hurt here. So from here, coming around, 1, 2, and down it goes. Okay, now we're going to break it down a little bit again. Watch. Coming around here, catch. This hand here comes all the way around outside. See, now his arm is locked here. He can't go anywhere. By you reaching here, you go behind his neck, okay, here, and you put pressure on his head. What you want to do basically is turn his head this way, and that will cause him to go down. So, still got his arm there here. 1, come around, push here, and then step. And he hits the ground. And then you have all your options here, same as before. I did it from this angle here, okay? So you'll see a little bit different. So what I do, lower my center of gravity and turn right into him here. This hand comes out right away, reaches behind his head, and now I spin here and take him to the ground. Now I can proceed with my techniques. The next one starts exactly the same way as the one before, but of course it's different. As you're turning around here into him and you're securing one of his hands, okay, you don't want him to get away from you, you strike immediately here. Boom. What that does is going to bring his head forward a little bit and soften up the grip, because you need to remove this one from your shoulder. So from here again, 1, 2. As you're removing this, you stop at this point here. You insert your other hand, 1, and drive him straight to the ground. As you do that, you can finish in this familiar way, and then go in and finish, or in different ways. Another thing you can do with this technique, as you're coming around, securing, striking. Remove that from your shoulder, insert it here the same way, but now this time, instead of taking him down, you escort him somewhere. This is a good escort technique. You've seen it before. Okay? You have good control, and you can eject him from a building or whatever. But if you don't need to do that, take him straight to the ground. One more time. From this angle here, I'm going to turn around, secure here, strike. Then I'm going to bring my hand here, lock him this way. Okay? One time from the other side again. One more time. From here, lower your center of gravity. Always bring your hands up for protection. As you're reaching, come here. Now, you could do this type of strike here too. 1, 2. Remember the key strike we did at the beginning of the program. And then go straight here. Or you could choose to do a vertical punch that is midsection. 1, 2. And then straight down to the ground. Bam. Here. And then from here, finish with a variety of techniques. In this category, we're going to deal with attack from behind still. But this time, instead of grabbing my shoulder, he grabs my sleeves. You know, I'm wearing a jacket, some type of a garment, and maybe I'm moving away from him and he tries to grab me this way. In all these type of techniques, regardless if he's grabbing the wrists or whatever, we always do what we call a feint or a fake. So I fake to try to free myself going that way, confuses him for a second, and then I escape from the other way. So in this case, from here, I'll fake this way, raise up his hand, gets him confused, and then I quickly turn around here. And what I do here, simply just put him in an armbar. Okay, we'll show it to you again. He grabs my sleeve, okay? This is a middle sleeve grab. So it's a couple of inches lower or higher, it doesn't really make a difference. It still works, okay? But we basically go from the premises that is a middle sleeve grab. So from here, 1, coming around here, see what's happening here? I secure into myself, locking his wrist here, and I tuck the arm. Now bringing down here for, again, many different finishes. Let's do one time from this side. See a different position? Sleeves, please. Thank you. So from here, I'll fake, I raise up, I go under, wide, lock here, and attack with this one. Step forward, taking it down to the ground. From here, of course, from here, I can do different things. One more time, just the mechanics of this part here. Okay, 1, 2, make sure you step deep behind it. Okay, so you're faking, 1, step deep behind them. Here, attack, this is a strike in itself, if you want it to be. And then down. His arm is locked. In the next technique, same type of attack. He grabs my sleeve, both of them from behind, preventing me to go where I'm going. In this case, I'll do the same type of feint fake as I did before. 1, he thinks I'm going to go that way, he begins to tighten up even more, and then I trick him by going this way. But this time, as I go under, I reach for his wrist here, like this. Therefore, freeing myself, bring him into this lock here that you've seen before in the previous program. So you should know how to do this part here. It's getting into it from this type of attack that makes it more advanced. So from here, again, 1, coming here, coming right here to the wrist. Freeing yourself, bringing him in, here, escorting. One more time, we want to try to do the other side. A little bit of a different perspective. So again, from here, going to fake 1, then go here. As I'm coming around, I reach for his wrist immediately. Here, breaking away, coming around, pushing the elbow into me, adding the second hand for added strength and support. The next category will be collar grabs. One hand from behind. So you're walking or standing somewhere and somebody attacked you by doing this, grabbing your jacket with your collar, whatever. So obviously you need to do something here, and this technique will address with a couple of strikes. That's all you're going to be doing. From here, you turn around into the individual. And as you're turning around, strike here at the arm as you come in. Okay, show you one more time. As you're coming in, bam, strike here. Then what you do from here, strike the face at the same time as you put in your hand underneath, behind him here, underneath his arm, behind him. After you've done this part here, since you have managed to bend him, okay, see this position of his body, because when you hit this way, it's going to go like that. Follow up with a strike, elbow strike to the sternum, right here, downward. Now, because you're holding him this way, when you strike, he's going to absorb most of the strike instead of just rolling with it and moving away from it. That's why it's important that you put your hand to hold him back into you and you strike in this way. One more time from this side. Again, from here, both hands up to protect your head. Step around, strike here, lock him, and finish with this technique. I'm going to show it to you one more time from this side, from a different perspective. So he grabs me. Again, I turn around, step out. Don't step in between his legs. You know what can happen here. Okay? So as you're stepping around, go wide, attack here, strike, put your hand behind him, the kidney area, and then finish with an elbow strike to the chest. The next one we're going to notice that is an extremely simple technique. Sometimes the higher you go in ranks in a martial art, the simpler the technique they becomes, because you've already mastered all the foundations and all the complicated locks and stuff like that. Now it's a matter of entering and applying your techniques, your strikes, your locks in a very fluid, very smooth way, very easy way. The easier, the better. The simpler the technique is, the less opportunity to make mistakes. Now, his intentions, of course, are not good. You feel yourself being jerked back like this, is grabbing you. You know there is probably a punch waiting for you if you turn around like this. So what you're going to do, you're going to strike with both hands at the same time as you're turning around. No distraction, nothing else. Just 2 strikes, both at the same time. As you're turning around, from here, I do a slow motion, of course, for you. Bang! This is the strike. One is a fist, vertical coming into his plexus here. The other one is an open hand kiss strike going across his face. Now you may hit him with the forearm, which is even better. Or you may hit him with the hand, the pseudo hand. You may catch his throat, you may catch up here, under the nose. It does not matter. The idea is to slam this into his face. You're not pinpointing target right now. Because remember, you're standing this way. So when you turn around, could be a little taller, a little shorter, you just slam into him. Bam! This is your technique. One more time slowly, this time. Watch. Lower your center of gravity. Again, step out. Don't step in between his legs. And both hands strike at the same time. Here. And it will come off you. Okay, we have gotten into another area now of sleeve grabs. We've done several of them before from different positions. This one here is, instead of grabbing the same side, like most people would do, because maybe of your position, it grabs your cross hand, and it grabs in the middle of the sleeve. You have a jacket or something, and it's obviously attempting to pull you into a punch or something. So, what are we going to do from here? As he grabs, open your hand, and take your arm up. The reason why you're doing that, you want to create an opening here. Right now, it's difficult for me to hit him here. So as soon as he grabs me, I'll go like this. I'll get a nice opening. It's like opening a window of opportunity. I strike there. Then as soon as I strike, that's going to kind of slow him down a bit. I reach for his wrist here. But I don't just grab the wrist. I go right into the hand, right here. I lock this into me. I spin back very fast, and it hits the ground. And you have your lock again here. Okay, let's view this in details a little more time. 1. If you stay here, very hard for you to hit him. So go up here. See, it throws him off balance a little bit. Here, opening the target for you. Sure, you could also use a kick. But it's better, since he's holding you and pulling you, not to lose your balance by lifting up one of your legs. So here, use bam, right here. Nice shot into the ribs here. 1. Then bring your hand here, lock him into you, like this. Now all you do is spin back, and he hits the ground. And then from here, you know, different type of technique, different type of locks. So the important part here is to remember, make yourself an opening. That way, even if he's already firing the second punch, you come in here, and if he fires that punch here, you have a nice trap here, and you can go back with something else. So this hand here, the right hand, does all the work here. Coming up, now I'm safe. He hasn't fired the punch yet. I hit, lock, and take down. The next category, same thing, cross sleeve grab, but this time inverted grip. So it's a separate category. He attacks you this way. Again, don't ask me why, because I don't know. But it may happen, and you need to know at least one technique to deal with this type of situation if it happens to you. Now, from here, as he reaches out and he grabs, you see his grip is inverted now. Okay? This one is the regular grip. This one is the inverted grip. Maybe because I was moving this way, whatever the case. From here, again, I do the same thing I did before. I open him up, I strike, okay, to soften him up. Then what I do, I come around here, go over his arm, lock his arm with my elbow to my body, while at the same time securing and trapping his hand to me. Then, of course, you already know what's coming next, I think. Here we go, with the nice armbar. Of course, I could kick this leg out and drop on the floor in a very painful lock, and also shoulder dislocation at that point. So from here, he grabs me this way. I raise, I strike. I come over the top. 1, 2. Then I begin to rotate him. See, I keep this tight into me. I got his hand, he's locked. Got his elbow here locked with my elbow. Down. So now, as I said, I'm going to kick my leg out. I'm going to go down with me. You would have this lock here, which is extremely painful. Or, if you want to, a straight lock like this. Or you can go into finger lock in this way. Very painful. So you get a variety, or just work simply on the wrist. Don't worry about the elbow or the shoulder, just work on the wrist. So you have 3 joints here that you can attack, one at a time or simultaneously, all 3 of them. So very painful technique. Want to see one more time how to get into it? Okay. 1, come over the top. If he's still dangerous, didn't feel this punch, for instance, he didn't feel it at all. Still dangerous, come around, bam, like this. You have a second strike available to you. The next category is defenses against headlocks. Person places you in the headlock. One of his intention, of course, is not to hold you like this forever, but it's probably to try to punch you. So as he's holding your head with this arm, it's going to try to punch you with that one. So first thing you do in this case, if you perceive that that's the situation, reach up and lock his arm up this way. So now if he tries to punch you, go ahead. He can't, because you're locking his arm, you're keeping his arm here. Now, start from the beginning here. He has you in a headlock, he tries to punch you, wants to punch you. You lock him. Now, this makes this not as strong as it was before. Reach behind here and break away. And then you can bring him up this way. That's one way that you can do it. From here, breaking away. 1, sneaking around. As soon as you reach this point, instead of just holding him here for an escort or whatever, reach out here, pull his head back. Now let the arm go and go into your familiar choke. So you started with him headlocking you, and you finish with you choking him. But the important part here is the first part. Because if you allow him to start pounding your face, it's going to be, for you, impossible to do anything else. So the first thing, turn your head a little bit, lock him here, push up, grab this one, bring him back, and escort him. Escort him. If this is not what you want to do, then bring him in for a choke, like we showed you. So you have 2 options here on how to finish this technique. But like I said, the important part is preventing him from locking and start pounding into your head by securing the other arm and then snaking out the one that is holding your neck. In the next headlock technique, you're going to do the same thing initially. You're going to prevent him from punching you. So what you're going to do is lock up here, grab him, prevent him from striking you. Remember, you're not going to stay in this position for any length of time. It's just for a couple of seconds to prevent him from punching you. So you get here, then take the other hand and go right here, behind the knee. Using your thumb into the pressure point, buckle his leg, and taking him down. As he goes down, you can follow him up and put him in some kind of choke or any other kind of restraint that you want. I'll show you one of them in a second. So let's go back here. The important part, beginning. 1, start pushing this one here. Now if you need help, you can help yourself with your own leg, pushing him down. As he goes down, come here, bring your forearm across his neck and put pressure. And you have your choke. Come back down here a little bit. I'm going to do it again. I'll show you happy. Okay, 1. He starts punching you. Lock him this way. go down here, push, push, take him down, take him down. You follow him to the ground, right on top of him, bring the forearm across his neck. Remember, his head is on the ground. So what you do, you push your weight into him. Like that. You have your choke. So as long as we prevent him from punching you, then push the leg, make him buckle down to the ground, follow him to the ground, unless for some reason you want to jump up and run, follow him to the ground, apply the bar choke from the back, like this. In this headlock technique, you're getting into a little bit into the ground grappling situation, which is really his department. But some of the techniques you need to, right now, start becoming familiar with. Because you're going to end up basically in a position mounting him at the end of the technique. So you start with your headlock here. So what you want to do here is trap his far leg, this one here. And as you do that, and you have him here like that, throw yourself down by sitting back down on the ground. And when you do it here, you roll over and you get right on top of him. And you're ready for your finishes. Let's show it from this side one time, a little bit different. Okay, so you're on the headlock, okay? Turn around this way a little bit. This one, it's important. Then take this leg here and trap his foot. Now remember, all you have to do from here is to sit down on the ground, and he will follow you down. Trap his hands here too. Go. One. He hits the ground, and just roll over him. And you're right on top. It's much more difficult to do it slowly, like we're trying to do here to show you, than to do it fast. When you do it dynamically, it flows real fast and real nice. Okay? So one more time. You're here. One. Drop the leg. Throw yourself down. Sit back down. One. And you're right on top of him. Ready to finish. The next group of techniques involves defenses against chokes, in case you are unfortunate enough to be placed in that position to begin with. Comes from behind, puts me in this type of choke right away. Now, the worst thing I can do is to lean back. I'm done. I'm finished. So the first thing you need to do as soon as you perceive yourself being placed in a choke is to hook. Use your hands like two hooks here and drop down this way. By lowering your center of gravity and dropping like in a horse riding stance, you're preventing him from going this way and completing the choke. So here, one. Then from here, if you need to readjust your feet a little bit, that's fine. And just simply flip him over. Now I'm going to do it very gently with Pedro. As I said, we have no maxi here. But basically, this is what you're doing. One and two. And he's right in front of you, and you can proceed with whatever lock you want to finish with. Now, without the throw, just the simple mechanics of this, he comes, one, and then begin your throw, like this. You don't have to be very strong. You're not lifting him with your back. You're using your legs and your hands here for leverage. Here, watch. It does not require a lot of strength. All I have to do is twist my hip a little bit, and it goes. Right here. Okay, so this is your technique. Very simple, very effective. The key here is to initiate the technique fast, immediately. Don't wait until he has placed you in a choke like this, and there is no way you can accomplish the technique at that point. You got to react very, very fast. In this technique, what you're going to do is escape from the choke. Again, he's trying to apply the choke on you here. As soon as you perceive that happening, again, stop him with your hands, immediately drop, lower your center of gravity, and this time, sneak this leg out and behind. Come around this way, and you place him in a lock, like this. From here, you can switch to hammer lock. You can escort him this way, drive him to the ground, bring him up, place him into a choke from here. So you have many different alternatives again. The important part is escaping from the choke first. That's what the technique is all about. So one time here, he begins to grab. One. Drop this way. Not straight down here against the bar, but into him this way. One. Take this leg and snake it behind. And you have this. Now from here, you could switch to an arm bar if you want. From here, you can switch hands and go here. You can bring him back here. Those are all your many choices, and most of them you should already know. Learn the escape. It's the most important part here. 1, 2. Go here. Now the leg does all the work here. 1. Escaping from behind. Got your pressure point. You got your lock here. And then you can decide where to go. So that's your escape from this choke. Okay. This defense against choke is basically the opposite. Come around this side. It's probably the opposite of the one we just did. This time, what I want you to do is you perceive the choke being applied to you. Again, use your hand to bring him down. But instead of turning him to him, like you did before, you turn him to the outside. And then you adjust your leg. There's an interesting footwork here that has to go in place to work. Step in a little bit, and then take a long step here with this leg and move right into him. And he goes down. What you're doing, you're breaking his balance by going in the opposite direction in which he's trying to do. When he chokes you this way, he's trying to take you this way. What you're going to do is fool him by going into this direction. And you accomplish that by moving this leg back this way, turning your body into him on the outside. So from here, he has you here, 1, then turn, adjust your footwork to make sure you can take a long step behind him this way. And down he goes. Okay, let's show him one time from this side, maybe for a little bit of different view. As he comes here, 1 and turn. As I said, begin to turn here. If you need to take an extra step here, 1 to put you in the right direction, and then a long step behind him. And he hits the ground. And then again, you can finish many different ways. So, one time straight from here. Watch the important part here. 1, then turn, adjust your feet here just a little bit, and then take a long step behind him here. See, that throws him off balance. It's actually good if you can, to trap his leg here. Go right behind him. Turn around, Pedro. So in other words, as you're doing this, 1, and turning, you can actually go like this and take him down. So the important parts are there. Preventing the choke first, turning to the outside and taking the long step or trapping his foot and moving forward, and he'll fall down. A choke sometimes can be applied from the front, not just from the back as we've been demonstrating until now. Say the person comes up to you and places both hands like this. It's still a choke. He's trying to choke you both by putting pressure here in the carotid artery and also with his thumb into your trachea. It's still a choke. Granted, it's a little easier to deal with a frontal choke because you can attack the arms, the face, you can kick. It's much easier. However, they're still dangerous. If he gets a good grip and he's strong and you're caught by surprise, by the time you react, it may be a little bit late. So immediately, as soon as he reaches out for you and he grabs you, what you want to do is go under. Just turn your head under. Let's do it one time from this side because I want to move in this direction. From here, drop your head and come out this way. As you're coming out, grab his arm, strike, kick, or proceed with a takedown of some kind. One more time from this side. So watch again here. I'm going to move my head in both directions so you're going to see different angles to understand it. Drop your chin to prevent this from hurting your trachea. Drop your chin. One time, I'm going to go this way, coming out here. The other time, I'm going to go this way. Same thing. Drop your chin, come out this way, grab the arm, attack. Or simply, as you're coming across, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever technique you want to do. The important part here, as soon as you feel the choke being applied, drop your chin. Remember, he's got his thumbs here. So you're using your chin to lock his thumb here, and as you're going down, it hurts him. He has to release you. Come back here, strike, go into a lock, or whatever else you want to do. So this is the important part right here. Dropping, then dip your head underneath in one direction. It doesn't matter if you go that way or that way. So here, coming across, grab it. The next defense against a frontal choke kind of reverses the tables on him. He started by choking you. You end up by putting him in a headlock and a throw, or a takedown. As he comes in, 1, immediately drop your chin again, attack this pressure point here. Okay? You can also at the same time give him a key strike in the groin or a vertical punch here in the stomach to make his head come forward a little bit more and still soften him up. 1 here. Then sneak your hand around here, grab it. Now who's got whom? You have him in a headlock. Now from here, of course, a gentle takedown or a flip. If you want to do a flip, you adjust your hip here and you throw him. Judo style. If you don't want to do that, because you don't feel secure with that, okay, again, drop here, strike, sneak your hand here, and just simply take him down. And follow him to the ground. You have all your techniques that you can apply as always. Okay, one more time. Why don't we change position here? So watch. From here again, you attack in 2 things at the same time. The pressure point here and a strike here. Soften him up. This strike here would usually get this hand away from your body. So bam, here. And then you just simply come around here and you have it either for a full throw or a simple takedown. You got him in a headlock. See, turn around. So here, see, you got pressure. You got pressure here, you got pressure here. So your choice is how far you want to flip him and how. Okay? So that's your technique. Thank you for being with us in this volume 3 of the Master's Program. This volume, as I said before, contains the minimum requirements for you to achieve a 40-degree black belt. Of course, there are other components to your requirements. You need to learn some weapons, some ground grapplings, the cane, and other things that will be also featured in videotapes in other series. However, these are the minimum empty hand requirement for your 40-degree black belt. We'll see you in the next video to bring you up all the way to 50-degree black belt. Thank you very much.